They had planned to stop you. They wanted your dreams to die, your honor to be dragged through the dust. But they forgot one thing. Your destiny is written by Allah, and when Allah writes something, no one has the power to cancel it. In today's video, we'll discover how Allah elevates you in front of your enemies, and how your enemies lose, unable to even touch you. Part 1. They want to stop you because you're chosen. You're not imagining it. The tension, the stares, the whispers behind your back. It's real, but it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing something right. You've been chosen, and they can't handle it. They'll speak against you, not because they know your truth, but because your light exposes their lies. They twist your words. They question your intentions. They try to make others doubt you. But Allah sees everything. They'll spread lies. The moment Allah begins to elevate you, so does the resistance. The more sincere you become, the more hate you'll receive. Why? Because people fear what they don't understand, and they envy what they can't control. They'll try to block your risk. They might try to discredit you, sabotage your work, close doors behind your back. But they don't control your sustenance. Allah does. Surah Yunus 10:65. Do not be saddened by what they say. Indeed, honor and glory belong only to Allah. He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Let them talk. Let them plan. Allah hears them, and He protects His chosen ones. The truth? You don't need to fight them. Your patience is your sword. Your dua is your shield. And your tawakkul, trust in Allah, is your armor. When Allah selects someone, He also defends them in seen and unseen ways. So if they're trying to stop you, it's proof that you're moving forward. Stay firm, stay humble, stay connected to the one who chose you, because honor belongs only to Allah, and He gives it to whom He wills. Part 2. No matter how hard they try, deep down, they know they're losing. They plot, they whisper, they gather others against you. All to stop your rise, your peace, your light. But here's the truth they won't admit. Even to themselves, they're already losing, not because you're fighting them, but because Allah is fighting for you. And when Allah supports someone, no force on earth can stop their elevation. Let's break it down. Here's why their efforts are failing, and deep down, they know it. 1. They tried to push your people away. They sowed doubt. They planted rumors. They whispered into ears that once stood beside you. They hoped that once you were isolated, you'd crumble. But what they didn't realize is that isolation with Allah is the beginning of divine strength. Some people had to walk away because they couldn't walk the path you were destined for. And some connections had to break because Allah is preparing new companions for the next chapter of your life. Surah Al-Kahf 18:28. And keep yourself patiently with those who call on their Lord morning and evening, seeking His face. He's replacing surface-level connections with souls that pray, reflect, and uplift. They tried to empty your circle, but Allah is purifying it. They didn't take your people. Allah removed the distractions. 2. They tried to cut off your risk. They blocked opportunities, spoke behind your back, tried to turn others against you professionally or financially. But here's what they forget. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. And whoever puts their trust in Allah, He is sufficient for them. Surely Allah will accomplish His purpose. Risk doesn't come from bosses, clients, followers, or social connections. It comes directly from the heavens. What they try to block, Allah redirects. What they try to ruin, Allah rebuilds better. They tried to shut doors, but you were never meant to knock on those doors forever. Allah was guiding you to the ones He already opened. They don't control your provision. Allah does, and He is never late. 3. They tried to break your confidence. They called you names. They mocked your growth. They doubted your abilities. Their goal? To shake you, to make you question yourself, to keep you small, because your rise reminds them of their stagnation. But what they forgot is this: Surah Taha 20:39. I have cast love upon you from me, so that you may be brought up under my eye. When Allah is the one building, every attempt to tear you down becomes a building block. Their insults, fuel for your resilience. Their lies, a test for your sincerity. Their hate, a mirror that reflects their own wounds. You're not breaking. You're becoming unshakable because you're being shaped by the one who shaped the mountains. 4. They tried to ruin your name. They spread rumors, twisted your story, painted you as someone you're not. But Allah is Al-Adl, the most just. He sees all things clearly, and He defends His servants in both this world and the next. Surah Ash-Shu'ara 26-217-19. Rely upon the exalted in might, the merciful, who sees you when you arise and your movement among those who prostrate. Even if every tongue turns against you, Allah's knowledge of your truth is enough. And when He decides to clear your name, not a soul can stop it. They tried to write your ending, but Allah is still writing your story. 5. They tried to silence your voice. Your words made people think. Your strength made others reflect. Your growth was loud, even in your silence. So they tried to interrupt you, belittle you, drown you out. But what they failed to realize is this. Surah Al-Fusilat 41:33. And who is better in speech than one who invites to Allah and does righteousness and says, indeed, I am of the Muslims. Your voice carries light. And no matter how much darkness surrounds it, light always breaks through. They can't stop your voice, because it was never yours alone. It was Allah's reminder, carried through you. 6. They know the truth, but can't admit it. They see your sincerity. They witness your resilience. They hear your du'as, feel your peace, sense your elevation, and deep down, they know it's real. But ego keeps them fighting, pride keeps them denying, and jealousy blinds their hearts. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:146. Those to whom we gave the scripture know Him as they know their own sons. But indeed, a party of them conceal the truth while they know it. They know you were chosen. They just can't stand that Allah chose you, not them. But that's not your burden. It's theirs. Final thoughts. Let them scheme. Let them speak. Let them try. Because the more they fight you, the more they expose this one reality. They're losing. Not because of you, but because you walk with the one who never loses. You don't need revenge. You don't need to explain. You just need to keep moving with tawakkul, sujud, and silence. And let the words of your Lord be your armor. Surah Al-Isra 17:81. Truth has come and falsehood has vanished. Indeed, falsehood is bound to vanish. They tried, but they failed, because Allah is with you, and that is always enough. Part 3. How Allah destroys their plans. They think they're clever. They gather in secret. They strategize to break your peace, block your risk, and crush your spirit. But what they forget is this. Surah Al-Imran 3:54. They plotted, and Allah plotted. And Allah is the best of plotters. Their plans are flawed, because they forgot to account for the Lord of the heavens and the earth. 1. Their trap becomes your training ground. They thought their betrayal would break you. Instead, it strengthened your faith. They thought rejection would isolate you. Instead, it led you straight to Allah's closeness. They whispered behind your back, but Allah was writing your name in gatherings of angels. Their trap became your transformation. 2. Their delays became Allah's redirection. They blocked the door you were knocking on, but only because Allah had something far better behind another one. They delayed you, but Allah redirected you. And what seemed like a setback was actually a setup for your rise. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. It may be that you dislike something while it is good for you. What they meant for harm Allah used for your growth. 3. Their hate becomes your elevation. The more they talk, the more Allah defends. The more they plot, the more Allah protects. And the more they try to destroy you, the more Allah builds you up. You don't even see it, but every wound became wisdom. Every fall became fuel. Every dark plot became a ladder built by Allah for you to rise. So let them plan, let them speak, let them gather. Because in the end, Allah's Qadar always wins, and they're just unknowingly helping you reach it. Part 4. When you were silent, Allah was at work. You didn't fight back. You didn't argue. You didn't expose them, even when you had every reason to. Instead, you chose silence. You chose patience. You chose dua. And while the world thought you were weak, Allah was working behind the scenes. Your silence wasn't emptiness. It was worship. They thought you were defeated. But you were in sujood. They thought you gave up. But you were whispering to the King of Kings. Hadith, Tirmidhi. Whoever bears the injustice of others with patience, on the day of judgment, Allah will raise their rank. You didn't respond to them because you were waiting on Allah's response. And He never forgets a patient heart. Your dua moved angels while they played games. In the last part of the night, you whispered, "O Allah, protect me, defend me, raise me." And while they were busy plotting, the skies were opening for you. The tears you shed when no one saw, the sujood you made when everyone slept, the broken words you mumbled through your pain. Those were not wasted. They were collected, witnessed, and answered by Ar-Rahman Himself. Your silence became your sword. While they used their tongues as weapons, Allah turned your saber into a shield. And now, your peace disturbs them. Your calm is louder than their accusations. Your silence echoes in places they never expected. Because when Allah works in silence, the outcome speaks volumes. So never regret your patience. Never doubt your dua. Because when you were silent, Allah was already at work. And that was your greatest victory. Part 5, last twist. What they expected is the opposite of what's happening. They thought you'd fall, but you rose. They thought you'd be left alone, but you found Allah. They thought you'd break, but your sujood made you stronger. They underestimated the one who was silently holding you together. They thought removing themselves from your life would ruin you. They thought blocking opportunities would stop your risk. They thought public humiliation would silence you. But they were wrong. What they expected, your end. What happened, your rebirth. Hadith, Muslim. What is meant for you will find you, just like death finds you. What was written for you found you anyway, despite the lies, despite the sabotage, despite their efforts to erase you. Risk came, peace came, Allah came even closer. They expected you to collapse. They thought the heartbreak, the betrayal, the weight of isolation would crush your soul. But it only pushed you deeper into dua, dhikr, and tawakkul. They thought silence meant defeat, but silence was the place where Allah was rebuilding you in secret. They planned your downfall, but Allah planned your elevation. Surah Yusuf 12:21. And Allah is predominant over His affair, but most of the people do not know. Now they're confused. How is she still standing? How is he still glowing? How are doors still opening for them? Because what they forgot is that no one can block what Allah has already written. Your risk? Already written. Your honor? Already secured. Your love? Already destined. They thought it was over, but it was just the beginning. They thought you lost, but you were actually being led straight into your divine portion. So walk forward. Now, with confidence. Because what they feared the most is happening. You're rising, and there's nothing they can do about it. Comment below. O Allah, I believe no one can erase what you've written. Align me with your divine plan. Subscribe to Peaceful Deen, because behind every tear you've shed, we search for an answer from the Quran.